Hello, and welcome back to Traversing the Cosmos, your favorite astrology podcast. My name is Fola, and I am grateful to have your ear. This week's episode will cover the collective transits for the second week of Capricorn season, December 28th through January 3rd of the new year. 2025 is just around the corner, and I don't know about you, but I am so ready for the promise of a fresh start. No shade to 2024. It was lovely, but my intuition is telling me that 2025 will be quite the adventure for each of us. Before we get to the breakdown, I believe a little housekeeping is in order, since it's been a few months since I've released an official podcast episode. This podcast is called Traversing the Cosmos, and it is where we talk about the astrological energies we are experiencing. It is also where we will talk about overarching influences and planetary shifts, major historical transits, and a tad bit of mythology. You can find this podcast on Substack or on YouTube, both on the Cosmic Belonging channel. I wanted to be clear about that detail. This podcast is Traversing the Cosmos, but you can follow me everywhere on all socials at Cosmic Belonging, as well as on my website, cosmic-belonging.com. My YouTube channel is where you will find channeled messages, tarot readings, travel vlogs, and much more. All right, I think I've covered my bases. Let's get into the weekly astrology, shall we? The second week of Capricorn season kicks off on Saturday, December 28th, and the first major transit will take place in the wee hours of the morning. Some may be asleep in their beds, and some of you may still be up partying from the night before. At 2:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Venus in Aquarius will square Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees and 43 minutes. A square in astrology represents a point of tension and friction, mostly between two astrological signs that carry similar energies, but in very different ways. They tend to rub one another the wrong way, especially when the square occurs in two fixed energies like Aquarius and Taurus. The battle for dominance between the planets and the fierce resistance that occurs when the fixed signs are pushed from their comfort zone can be very powerful and even destructive depending on which planets are involved. Luckily for us, I see Venus and Uranus working together quite handsomely in this moment. As it is, Venus and Uranus are in each other's signs, Venus ruling over Taurus and Uranus ruling Aquarius. When this happens, when two planets come into contact in the respective sign of the other, we call it mutual reception. It makes it easier for them to find common ground and to get along. Don't get me wrong, the energy of the square is still in effect, and it will take some effort to soothe the tension of the moment, but it's almost as if the effort will be in allowing and making space for change to occur on its own. Uranus, the planet of redirection and change, has been traveling through Taurus for the last 6 years. Taurus is a very stable and steady sign. It does not take change lightly and must be pushed to the brink in order to embrace redirection fully. Uranus has been shaking up the parts of our charts where we are most averse to risk. It has been throwing curveballs and expecting us to quickly readjust our sense of security, the ways in which we make money, our eating habits, what home looks like to us, and much more. It has been eye-opening and a bit scary, but the one thing to hold on to is that Uranus is also the ruler of divine guidance and inventiveness. It throws a wrench in the works so that you can figure out how to fix an unworthy machine or get an entirely new one that is much more reliable and sustainable. It sees the big picture, what Aquarius energy is best at, and leads us where we need to go so that we can see it too. And although these shifts haven't been easy, If you look back to where you were in 2018 and compare it to where you are now, you would be remiss to pretend you haven't grown leaps and bounds. Each of us has become more alternatively resourceful in the field of money, assets, using our talents, and making sure our basic needs get met. This square coming in from Venus is here to help us, to show us yet another way that we can put ourselves to good use. When Venus is in the sign of Aquarius, we tend to place more value in things that are deemed out of the box. We take pleasure in our own unique nature and in the beauty of everyone else's as well. Venus in Aquarius brings us a deeper sense of community. It opens our hearts to collective consciousness, activates the activist within us, and allows us to enjoy the art of problem solving. It's for these reasons that I believe Venus is coming in to assist Uranus to guide us into some sort of newness that has been patiently waiting to emerge in our lives. The Aquarius energy is helping us to see something special, something that we may overlook in our everyday. It's helping us to break out of our comfort zone in favor of letting our metaphorical hair down. It is showing us how we can take a step forward toward being more unapologetic about who we are and what our mission is. It is offering a sweet solution to an issue that has been longing to be quelled. It's giving you the opportunity to appreciate the newest version of yourself and the journey you've been on to get to where you now reside. It can even give us a glimpse of what we want to incorporate into our lives in the future. This moment also offers the support of others. It presents the realization that wherever we are being guided to, and whenever we stop along the way, we will always find members of our tribe waiting to share space, love, and valuable insights. The energy of this transit will start to bubble a day or two before the peak on Saturday and will take another 2 days to dissipate. Savor this time, take pleasure in it, and make sure to stay present. It is important to move through this energy with awareness because Venus square Uranus does have the potential to go unnoticed or to be brushed off as something very simple, cute, or irritable. This is why presence is paramount because although it may be simple, this transit can also show you how to step into alignment in a way that your soul has craved for quite some time. So pay attention this weekend. This transit is the start of a very eventful and activating week. To get a closer look at the area of your life Venus and Uranus will be lighting up, look for the houses where 23 degrees of Taurus and Aquarius are for you. The very next day, December 29th, the asteroid Chiron, the wounded healer, will end its retrograde cycle in the sign of Aries and start moving in forward motion. This energy signature is very significant because we have been working through internal healing for 5 long months. Chiron has been retrograding in the sky since July 26th and helping us to get to the bottom of our insecurities and our false starts. To learn more about how Chiron in Aries shows up collectively, be sure to check out the previous podcast episode on Chiron, where I dive deep into the collective Chiron experience, the Greek mythology of it all, of the wounded healer, as well as how Chiron shows up in each sign. I will also be releasing another episode focusing on Chiron's journey through the sign of Aries and the gene keys very soon. I am excited about it and I think you guys are going to love it. But for now, I'm going to give you the Sparks Notes version. Chiron represents the parts of us that we are working to empower. In order to do this, it must first show us our weaknesses. This last retrograde cycle, July 26th through December 29th, symbolized a time where we were able to see our Aries wounds more clearly. That's how it works. We are shown the patterns, and thus we are able to start to shift. With Chiron retrograde in Aries, we may have begun to recognize how personal fear of the unknown affects our decision-making skills. We may have been able to see where the crack in our self-confidence resides, how it shows up for us in our lives. Chiron in Aries shows us where our trust in the universe has become brittle. It illuminates the area of our lives where we lack courage, and how and when we hide who we truly are. These themes have been exposed throughout the retrograde cycle. I know you felt it. Aries energy rules the self, the body, action, and courage. Aries is the pioneer and the fool, unafraid to charge forward toward inspiration and excitement. It is bold enough to take a leap into the unknown and to be true to itself and its path. Now that Chiron is finally stationing direct, it is time to gather our insights and move forward with greater determination and self-confidence. The next big astrological day is Monday, December 30th. The Capricorn new moon will take place at 5:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 9 degrees and 43 minutes of Capricorn. New moons are times to cultivate new beginnings and to plant new seeds for our future endeavors. And this new moon is no different. In fact, I would say this new moon is the epitome of the new moon intentions vibe. We are at the end of the year. It's the perfect time to flesh out your dreams, and Capricorn is the sign that embodies the energy of achievement and long-term goals. There is a sense of determination and fervor emanating from this new moon. It's in a loose sextile to its ruling planet Saturn and conjunct the asteroid Pallas Athena, which represents wisdom, knowledge, and the ability to fight for what you believe in. Whatever vision that takes hold today will lay deep roots and almost guarantee a sturdy foundation. So write down your wishes, make your vision boards, list your prayers, record your heart's desires today. Because not only is this new moon going to bring a powerful energy of manifestation, but later on in the day, Pluto and the nodes of fate are going to be entering the conversation, okay? And we're going to talk about it. But first, a shameless plug. Be sure to check out the Cosmic Belonging YouTube for a sign-by-sign energy reading for the Capricorn new moon. Oh, and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out on when I drop a video. It's no coincidence to me that Chiron is stationing direct the day before Pluto in Aquarius sextiles the North Node in Aries at 1 degrees and 4 minutes. This transit culminates at 11:31 p.m. EST, so depending on where you are in the world, this transit will either occur on Monday or very early on Tuesday. Regardless, this activation is working very closely with the new moon and, in my opinion, is being activated by Chiron the previous day. We've talked about how Chiron has been working with us to heal our sense of self, but it has not been working alone. The North Node has been in Aries since July 17th of 2023. The nodes stay in a set of sister signs for 18 months, and the pair Aries-Libra have almost maxed out their time. The North and South nodes will stay in Aries and Libra until January 11th, 2025. So there's less than 2 weeks left for the collective lessons of self versus others and peace versus war to finally subside. To compromise or not to compromise? That is the question. But before we can graduate, there are a few last-minute activations to bear witness to, and Pluto sextile the North Node and subsequently trine the South Node is a pretty big one. We've discussed in previous episodes that sextiles open doors. We've also talked about how the North Node is a pressure point meant to usher us into our destined karmic evolution. Well, now it's time to discuss what Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, power and transformation, adds to this conversation as it aids and abets the North Node in pushing us to leap into the newest version of ourselves. Pluto is a powerful planet on its own, bringing deep evolutionary change as well as personal power. Pluto in Aquarius, sextiling the North Node in Aries, takes that cellular change to new heights. It shows us just how powerful we can be when we begin to accept our soul's mission, when we embrace the parts of ourselves that have been ostracized or deemed too out of the norm to flourish. These two planets working together can show us how vital following our passionate hearts can be. That each of us was placed here to follow their own North Star. And that if we can do that, if we can promise to be true to ourselves, we will unlock gifts that contribute to the collective upgrade of consciousness. There is divine power in accepting who you are. From that power springs forth divine alignment. That alignment leads you to be in the right places at the right time, to meet the right people, to be of service to self and to the world. This transit has the ability to open the door for the collective to realize that in order to give our all to the world, we must first be selfish enough to boldly step into our path, regardless of societal norms or expectations, regardless of whether you can see the end of that path or not. You must first feel the inspiration, feel it so deeply that you trust it will lead you to salvation. Pluto in Aquarius sextile the North Node in Aries can teach us that full acceptance of self leads us back to the whole. It sets us free from the hamster wheel and allows us to look up and to see the bigger picture. Courage, passion, creativity, excitement, and a newfound fondness of humanity and what makes each of us special is what is on the table today. This transit is a portal. You're going to want to walk through it. It is a potential quantum leap towards who you are and who you were always meant to be. Set your intentions and open the door. The following day, the very last day of 2024, December 31st, we will be experiencing a completion transit. The third and final pass of Mercury in Sagittarius trine Chiron in Aries is taking place at exactly 19 degrees of both fire signs. The first time this transit occurred was on November 19th of this year. The second pass happened as Mercury was in retrograde on December 2nd, and now, at the very tail end of the year, we find ourselves at the completion. Mercury, the planet of communication, has also been working with Chiron in Aries, sending us messages to help us clarify what truth looks like for us. It has also been helping us to have hope and to approach our lives with more optimism. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and when Mercury is in Sag, we tend to have an unlimited supply of glass half full energy. With Aries being the first fire sign, symbolizing the infant stages of the element, and Sagittarius taking on the role of wise fire elder, there is a sense that maturity is being offered to Chiron through these transits. In truth, Sag can help Aries to commit to what excites them. While Aries energy can be akin to the firefly, shining bright from moment to moment in short, powerful bursts of light and illumination, Sagittarius energy is committed to the bigger quest. It can see the end in the beginning. It knows how to have faith and how to dig deep and wait for its fruits to come to harvest. I believe that Mercury in Sag has been helping us to step into the energy of knowing in order to elevate our courage of heart. Mercury has been slowly showing our collective Aries wounding that we create our truth through belief. We build our world not from what we can already see, but from what spurs our hearts into action. And it's that faith in self, in the divine inspiration that is so individual to each of us, that has brought us the gifts of creation and invention. Mercury in Sagittarius says that it is okay to bet on yourself and to invest in what inspires your creative heart. Mercury in Sag says, do it afraid and full of wonder and hope. Have faith. As always, to understand how this energy is impacting you personally, look at 19 degrees of Aries and Sagittarius in your chart and contemplate the houses being activated. I recommend that everyone take a look at where 19 degrees of Aries resides in their birth chart, as Chiron has actually been idling at this degree point for quite some time. This is also the same degree point of the Aries eclipse that took place earlier this year on April 8th, 2024. Like I said, I will be doing a separate episode to break down this Chiron and Aries energy, as it has some huge implications for our individual and collective plans for the future. Keep your heads on a swivel for the episode. You are definitely not going to want to miss this one. The next shift in energy will be taking place in 2025. On January 2nd, Venus, the planet of love, desire, beauty, and values, will be entering its domicile, Pisces. Venus thrives when it is in Pisces, but it will only be here for a month, until February 3rd. So make sure to take ample time to soak up the yummy goodness of giving and receiving love. This is a wonderful time to take luxurious naps, engage in spiritual practices such as meditation, yoga, or sound baths. Venus in Pisces wants you to get lost and to dive into your preferred art form, to paint, sing, dance, journal, drum, whatever expression allows your fantasies to flourish in real life. You can draw too. During this month, take every opportunity to give your imagination a stage and possibly even an audience, although the latter isn't necessarily needed. Venus entering the final sign in the zodiac also signals a time of renewal for her. This is a time to look back on all of the lessons we have gained when it comes to our finances, assets, comfort, and stability, as well as our relationships. Take some time to assess how far you've come in the past year and to set new financial goals for the upcoming cycle. Reminisce on the pleasurable experiences you've been able to partake in and ask yourself the following questions. What do I value in my life? What am I looking to upgrade? What is no longer needed? Is there anything lingering in my life that no longer adds value to it? What can I close the door on at the end of this Venus cycle? The last transit of the week will take place on January 3rd, and it may be a bit of a doozy. Mars retrograde in Leo will be opposing Pluto in Aquarius. While we have experienced this exact transit before on May 20th of 2023, the most recent collective experience of Mars opposite Pluto was in early November of 2024, when Pluto and Mars were interacting in the tail end of sister signs Cancer and Capricorn. The change in signs gave the energy a bit of a different flavor as Pluto was finishing up its transit through Capricorn and in a much more stable place than it is now. Having just entered the sign Aquarius, Pluto is in its wrecking ball era, ruthlessly digging up the gunk that needs to be put to the pyre. The rebuilding can only take place once we get our hands dirty and experience the debris firsthand. And oppositions are akin to squares in the sense that they can be fairly challenging. With Mars representing our drive, sense of action, and how and when we go to war, and Pluto representing power, systemic structures, and literally the underworld, the energy of this opposition will be felt on a large scale. The difficulty of an opposition shows up as feeling a strong push and pull energy. We may feel like we are being forced to make difficult choices around this time. Or maybe Mars may be telling us we want to go one way, and Pluto shows up and seemingly snatches the option right out of our hands. There are many ways that this transit can show up personally, but the overall energy is that of frustration. There may be ego clashes as Leo is ruled by the sun, which rules the ego. We may be forced to navigate some gnarly power imbalances. We may even encounter burnout during this time, as Mars is definitely outmatched by Pluto in this interaction. It is important to take good care of your heart during this transit. Actively engage in self-care remedies, affirmations, and remind yourself that the universe is always working out for you. Remember that frustration is only a feeling. It is a tool to be used as a guiding light, not as a weapon against the self or others. Utilize any feelings of dissatisfaction as inspiration to solve whatever problem you are encountering, for this too shall pass. This moment is also a good time to find a physical outlet for pent-up energy. Go to the gym, scream in the woods, sweat it out on the dance floor, or find a rage room and break stuff in a safe environment. Like I said, take very good care of yourself and know that this is only a moment in time. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I appreciate the presence of every single soul in this space. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. I want to hear all about your week, and I would love to answer your astrology questions. Check out the YouTube channel for my upcoming new moon messages and for the Capricorn season crystals to work with messages. I've been releasing those. If you would like a reading, head on over to my website, cosmic-belonging.com. Oh, and don't forget, you belong. Until next time, bye. Bye now.